Welcome, everybody, to our next performance of the Shelter in Place Festival. This performance is called This Is How It Begins. It is written by Zephyr. It is starring Andi Allen, Evan Anderson, Nicole Carrano, and Isabelle Culpepper, and this was directed by Benjamin Bratcher. Enjoy, everyone.
At Rise, morning. Tom, Willa, and Rye are seated in the kitchen, dressed in various states of sleeping attire. Rye is reading the news, Tom is eating cereal, and Willa is drinking coffee.
How can you read that doom and gloom report?
I know. It's like a train wreck. I don't want to know what's happening, but I can't turn away.
I thought you didn't stop for accidents.
I don't. That's what's weird. I think I'm looking for something positive. You know, like the curve is flattening or bug. I don't know. I just need to do something. Something to help. I feel useless, powerless. So not a good look for me.
Brene Brown has a podcast that I've enjoyed.
What?
You stayed out all night?
Yeah, I was at Logan's.
I thought we had an understanding.
About?
About going out for booty calls?
I wasn't on a booty call. I told you I was at Logan's.
Logan has a roommate. You don't know where he's been.
Oh my God. Do you want me to go decontaminate? What is this, Silkwood?
Yes, I want you to not touch anything and go shower.
Okay, boss. Right after a cup of coffee.
No, now.
Are you serious right now?
Addie, you're young. You think you're invincible. If I were 25, I probably, well, hell, I would, I don't know, I might feel the same. But you know, Rye has asthma. And according to the media, I'm over 50 and considered the walking dead. So until this fucking virus is less lethal, it's important to consider your roomies.
Oh, now I'm inconsiderate. Who's been doing all the shopping for the past week, huh? Who's been picking up the meds, standing in line, waiting?
We agreed, Addie. One person goes out. No sense in all of us being exposed.
Oh, right. Okay, for the youngin' to get sick, though.
If you do get sick, it won't be from buying milk.
What does that mean?
It means that if you can't control your precious libido for a lousy 2 weeks...
Addie, we sat right here 7 days ago and had a conversation, all of us. We agreed it made sense for just one of us to do the shopping. You volunteered. I said I was willing to.
You're 50-fucking-5, Willa.
And?
You're more susceptible.
To what? The virus or ageism?
Oh my God. Tom, you got nothing to say about this. Are you on the same page?
I sure hope we don't run out of this cereal. It's really...
Tom?
What?
Where do you fall in this debate?
I'd rather not do the divide thing.
Tom.
Ads, come on, just shower. I'll put on a fresh pot and begin making a pie for dessert tonight, okay?
Unreal.
Hey, it's just for another week.
Not if she's been exposed.
Logan is not sick.
You don't know that. He could be asymptomatic. His roomie could be a carrier. You could be, for that matter. And though she won't say anything, you know Willa is recovering from breast cancer.
2 years ago. She had the surgery 2 years ago.
It's called an immune system, Addie.
Logan works in drug rehab. He's exposed to a slew of people who are probably still using, and they don't have access to proper medical care.
Like rich white people?
Oh, you're not seriously going to make this about race, really?
It's always about race. And I bet if Logan were white, we wouldn't be having this discussion.
I don't believe the virus is concerned with ethnicity, Addie.
What do you want from me?
I want you to be responsible.
So now I'm irresponsible and inconsiderate. I really don't know how you've managed to put up with me as a roommate all this time.
This is like that Twilight Zone episode. Okay. It's the early 60s, fear of communism, a really tight-knit neighborhood in the burbs, all white, all straight. One guy builds a bomb shelter and the rest of the hood makes good-natured fun of him. Then one day there's an alert, shelter in place, sirens going off. The bomb shelter guy grabs his family and immediately sequesters them in the shelter. The neighbors want entrance. There's not enough room. They plead for supplies. Long story short, things turn ugly. Verbal insults and accusations are slung back and forth. Someone goes to get a shotgun, somebody else a blowtorch. And then just as they light the blowtorch, the all clear sounds. Bomb shelter guy exits with his family. There are a few mumbled apologies. Bomb shelter guy looks at the neighbors with disgust, takes his family and goes home. And you just know that hood is never gonna be the same.
What kind of analogy is that?
All I'm saying is that we'll get through this, but we have to stick together.
So, can we all agree no more booty calls?
I think we're all adult enough
You
to...
chicken shit.
Addie,
You tell them.
don't go there.
Tell what? Hello?
Tom, can we all agree?
Yeah, Tom, can we all agree?
I went out one night,
Are you fucking kidding me?
When?
3 nights ago. I was going bug fuck. Jason called and Teddy was having a small group.
Group?
Small.
How small?
Seven friends for a game night in his basement.
So let me get this straight. You go out to someone's house where there are 7 other people all sitting around a table, I presume not observing social distancing, because that would be one ginormous fucking table, and you are drinking, eating, playing games with pieces that you all touch? Tell me, Tom, were you wearing a hazmat suit?
No one was coughing, Ryan.
Jesus!
Nice. Tell them all of it.
I said I went out, okay?
You were intimate?
Not with all 7. I'm 34 for fuck's sakes. This is my dating prime.
You do realize this is the new AIDS.
It's a pandemic, Tom, a fucking pandemic. You are not supposed to touch your mouth, and you're sticking your tongue and whatever else into someone else's mouth.
It wasn't a stranger. This wasn't some hookup in a bar. This was Teddy.
Oh, Teddy, I forgot. He is the medical genius that invented the COVID-19 vaccine that he shared with all of you prior to playing Monopoly and Suckface.
I'm sorry. It just exploded so fast. I wasn't taking it as seriously then.
So now we have to begin self-quarantining again. Not from 7 days ago or even day 3 when you went out, but from today, now. Oh, we have to remain inside for another 14 days.
You know what? This is bullshit. I'm just gonna stay at Logan's.
Addie.
No. And when this is over, I'm moving. You can all just do your own fucking shopping.
Well, actor.
Get the fucking thermometer.
Grab the Tylenol. I'll make some tea.
I'll get the oregano oil and slippery elm. I swear I'm gonna kill that girl when this shit is over.
Sorry for popping on too early. Well done, actors. If you want to join me back for a talk back, Benjamin, if you want to join us as well. Welcome.
Hey.
Great performance. We had some great reactions to this. Lots of people relating with Tom and Addie being all over it. I would love to hear, Benjamin, what your direction was with this piece to start off with.
My direction. Well, I think a lot of us are kind of can empathize with these characters quite a bit during this time. And I think there's a little bit of a varying degree of opinion in with each character in terms of how to approach this best. So, I think when we talked about this as a cast, a lot of the cast could empathize with their character quite a bit. And I would love the cast to talk about that in a second too. But I actually emailed with the playwright, Elsie Zephyr, prior to starting rehearsals. And it was interesting because Z took their experience with the pandemic kind of as inspiration for this play and approached it to see how they might have reacted in such a situation at various ages throughout their life. And I find that to be a really interesting kind of concept or inspiration for the play. And so going off of that and, figuring out how the characters would deal with it, what their inspirations were. And then from a technical perspective, I think it was fairly straightforward for this play. But yeah, that's how I approached it.
Yeah, I would love to ask all the actors how you see yourself in the characters or how you don't see yourself in the characters and how that influenced your performance.
I'll go. I would say I totally get it. It's so hard. I live by myself. And so, there's been times where I'm like, oh, I just want to like see somebody that I'm like, be with somebody that I'm like really comfortable with and just have that connection. And sometimes when you're in your own little bubble, you're not really aware of the severity of what's happening outside. And so it doesn't seem as bad as it is. And sometimes it's just hard to remember that and keep that perspective. So I could understand why Addie would want to do that. But I think it's totally different when you're living with 3 other people that you have to be aware of their safety as well. So.
Well, and we kind of had this discussion ourselves just in general. And I was saying early on that a lot of what Willa's saying, I've been saying just in my reactions when I see, my friends on Facebook, like, oh, everybody was out at the bar. And I'm like, because we're, I'm besides being in some of those kind of higher risk categories for different health reasons. So I'm terrified of this. Plus, as actors, one of the things that they're finding out about the disease is that even if you have a fairly mild case, it's leaving scar tissue on your lungs. And especially for those of us who perform in musicals, we might never have the same lung and singing capacity after getting even a mild case of it. So you just don't want, you want to avoid it at all. And so my reactions have been very Willa-like in the sense of, guys, we have to be responsible and think about everybody else and not just, I can take care of myself, but when I have to be around these other people, like in this roommate situation, or if you're having to go into your office, you have to keep in mind, it's not just your health that you have to be concerned with, because you could be exposing everybody else around you. And I think that's the frustrating part that I see on Facebook is so many people who are refusing to wear masks and things don't understand that, you can say, I'm willing to take the risk on my own health. I don't care, but you are a possible carrier. And that's the part they don't get. And so that's where I want to be, I'm Willa. I'm way Willa.
I feel that. I feel like we can all have a little bit of Willa. All right, Evan, what about you?
I'm very much Tom as just a person in general.
Eat cereal all the time.
I read the script and I was like, this is me. I love cereal. The same age, we're both 34. I hate conflict. Tom also hates conflict, and I try and diffuse it if I can. And I'm also a geek. I love a lot of sci-fi stuff, and he loves the Twilight Zone. But I definitely get what he says when he went to the like little party and he wanted to go see Teddy, and he's like, I'm 34, like I'm in my dating prime. And I relate to that a lot because I mean, it's my dating prime. I'm not my little baby self anymore. And so I don't know. I get totally where he's coming from.
Totally. Isabel.
Yeah, I definitely I can see where everybody is coming from, each character. Um, I definitely lean more toward Willa and Rye for sure. I can definitely relate with Rye on everything. And Willa, who are basically saying the same thing. um, no, I've been overly cautious, I think. Like I haven't wanted to go anywhere at all. I mean, I am not alone. I have, my daughter and husband, and so that helps, I'm sure. But also at the same time, I probably would be less afraid to go out if I weren't afraid of putting them at risk. Like I'm if it were just me, I would probably be fine. Um, at least that's what I would think. um, so yeah, I'm more worried about putting others at risk, mainly.
Yeah.
And I definitely would be policing the hell out of any roommates that I had if I were in that situation.
Just doing the thermometer read over the forehead when they walk in the door.
Right, spraying them with Lysol or something.
Yes, Matt.
I would love to wrap this up with some encouragement that you want to give other artists that are in your community. Any encouraging words that you have to say to them to either give grace to themselves or stay creative?
Yeah. I think that's it. I've participated in a couple of readings now, and I love how all the theater companies are trying to find ways, even if they're not bringing in revenue, although some are trying to make it a revenue stream, they're just trying to find an outlet because we're all going stir crazy. I want to sing. I want to be able to dance. I mean, all these things that I can't do. And even just sitting in front of my computer and getting to act and be a character for a minute is giving me life. And then watching my friends when they're posting, some song they put up, like the quarantine cabaret thing that Mikey Abrams started. I mean, keep using all those outlets. We have technology now they didn't have in 1918. So, they were really trapped inside, but we can still communicate and we still can create. And I told a friend the other day who's always got multiple jobs going, and yet he's having success writing new opera and things. I'm like, well, the one thing good I've thought about is that you have tons of time to work on all those operas in your head right now. You don't have to worry about trying to prep for a show you're directing or something. I mean, you have the time to create, whether it's using our video accessibility that we've got or sitting down and writing a play. I'm trying to come up with, some play ideas right now myself because I never have time to write anymore. So use it. We've got this time. There are ways to still be creative. So don't sit and let the depression get you. Put it into your work.
Totally. Nicole.
My advice, which is advice to myself as well, is to do more things just for the fun of it, not to like get seen by somebody or get cast in your next show. Like I had a really great time doing this because it was just so low stress, and so I would love for myself to do more of those types of things.
Yeah, low stress.
Yeah. So do things more for fun, not for an outcome or a product.
I love that. What about you, Benjamin?
Advice I would have is, I guess, twofold. On the one hand, we are in a pandemic, so take some time for yourself and take care of yourself, and don't feel bad if you're not feeling creative. I definitely had a list of things I wanted to do at the start of this, and I've done very few of those things. And I think it's okay to not have the energy or capacity to do that. But I'm also taking some classes. I feel like it's a really good time to kind of go back and just learn some of the basics again. So that's been really fun for me.
Yeah. Isabelle.
I mean, it really just what that y'all are saying, you know, honestly, I just, all of those, especially what Benjamin was saying though, about not feeling, not pressuring yourself, because I do feel like a lot of people have high expectations of yourself and using the best, doing the best with what you have in this time, and just growing and getting better, which I think we all should strive to do. But I also think we should take it easy on ourselves as well, not stress ourselves out too much, but have fun. And just know that I mean, I love this community and how supportive everybody is. And just, I love watching all of the art that everyone's putting out, and like the festival like this. I hope that there's more of it to come, because I know it's going to be a while before live theater opens back up again. So I'm looking forward to more of this.
Yeah. Last but not least, Kevin.
I'd say get involved in any form of art that you could think of or that you're interested in, whether it be knitting, maybe a YouTube drawing class, or painting, or whatever. If you're interested in it, research it. And if you're not perfect, that's okay. Like, keep going. Just anything you're interested in, just to branch out and try new things. And if it doesn't work out, shoot, just let it go, try something else. Give yourself grace.
Well, thank you everyone for joining me for the Q&A. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Bye. All right, everybody, we will be back in just a little bit with our next performance. Take care.